Hello out there, Mama Trip here with a continuation of my journey to discovering whether this bag is truly for me and has a place in my collection. Today will be Bumbag versus Pochette Métis. Sorry for the slight interruption in the upload of the videos. The whole Trip family has been kind of dominoing in terms of feeling unwell and kind of giving it back and forth, so there hasn't really been a good moment to film recently, and so there are a few videos that I filmed previously that I think that I'll try to upload to kind of fill in, but this is my first one back feeling a little bit better, and the voice is feeling much better. Okay, so in the back, before we get started, today's eye candy is my Chanel single flap jumbo in the black caviar leather with the silver hardware. So this is from, I believe it said it was 2012. I think it said the age. So, you know, quite a many years ago, and it's in fairly good condition. I'll link the video of my unboxing of her down below, and I've just been really enjoying using her. And what I do is I have the straps shortened, so because the grommets are side by side instead of in a vertical way, what I have done is I've made this more of a top handle, and then I use this one as the shoulder strap. And I really enjoy the look of this and how, you know, it kind of sits and the ease of carry. And then the way that I have achieved this is I purchased these on Amazon. So they're these little kind of clasps where you flip the middle up and then flip it back down in order to seal it closed. And then you just kind of pick two chain lengths depending on your desired length of chain, and then voila, there you go. So that's how I did that. And this is my third jumbo, my only single flap. The other two are double flaps. I have one caviar in a kind of very dark gray with gunmetal hardware, and then I have a lambskin in a very bright pink magenta color with silver hardware. So jumbo is my preferred Chanel bag at this moment, although the business affinity family is quickly catching up to my love for the jumbo. And the reason I love jumbo is just because it's so versatile. It's got a good size. I really like the look of it. It's not too rectangle. It's not too boxy. I like the versatility in that it's not maybe like a formal bag where you have to have something more like a clutch in that situation, but it can go to most things, right? And when we're talking about like a statement bag, this is up there, right? And I know that some people feel the jumbo is kind of out and because it's a bigger bag, but again, I've argued in previous videos, this is not a big bag. There are, I mean, totes, right? Like the book tote is a big bag. The kind of the Chanel Duveau, that one, you know, the totes are big. And then there are obviously that new YSL bag that I've been seeing on Instagram and on YouTube pop up here and there, that huge black YSL tote. Like those are huge bags, you know. The Speedy 30 is a pretty nice size bag. The Neverfull is a big bag. This does not fit anywhere near any of those things, but it is probably heavier than most of those bags. The single flap is significantly lighter, but the jumbo as a whole is a heavy bag for two reasons. One, that's a lot of leather in the jumbo, and it's a lot of thick leather because of the quilting, especially in the caviar. So the lambskin is slightly lighter, but I would say not enough for me to notice by the end of the day. And then the chain. This is a thick, heavy chain. This chain might actually be heavier than this bag. I'm not sure, but but yeah, so the jumbo is heavy. It's not a big bag, but it is heavy. And when I watched Fashionably Amy, I think it's Fashionably Amy, when she spoke about how she was giving up her jumbo, which she had said previously it was like one of her holy grail bags, and I don't really call anything a holy grail bag, but one of those bags that she dreamt of owning and why she was giving it up, she listed a very, like legitimate reason that I think not too many of us maybe think about. And it's like kind of like almost health concerns, in that some people have frames that are too small to carry heavy bags. I mean, when we think about when we were younger and textbooks got bigger before everything became, on an iPad or, electronic on a tiny little laptop, we had to physically carry on all these bags. There were children that were legitimately getting back issues, posture issues, joint pain, and also into adulthood, kind of carrying heavy things only on one side, not balanced, not having a good, strong core, posture, all that stuff. Those are legitimate health issues. And when something is too heavy for your frame, I understand how that is a thing. But to say that such a beautiful bag is just not in anymore, I don't know, that makes me sad. To me, and I know this is a total tangent, there's not, these don't come necessarily in and out of style for the great majority of people, right? I don't have a seasonal wardrobe in the sense of the fashion house seasons. I mean, sure, like you change what you wear based on how cold or hot it is, and some people will go a little bit further based on fall, winter, spring, summer coloring, which I don't know. If I want to wear a hot pink dress in the fall, I'm gonna wear a hot pink dress, and if I want to wear brown or beige in the spring, then I'm going to wear brown or beige. That part, I don't subscribe to, because it's not part of my daily life or the culture of the people that I, spend time with. Nobody in my circle cares about fashion necessarily or any of those things. But I don't, in my view, for me, it doesn't make any sense to me to call things like in and out, because the amount of money that is spent on this bag, like I should be able to use it for most reasons and any time of the year. So it makes me sad when people say the jumbo is out. But as they also say, whatever, things that go out come back in. And so that also makes the terms in and out meaningless, because if in and out switch over and over and over again and they cycle, then there really is no in and out, right? There's just the moment, and trying to live in the moment is the best that any of us can do. And so my moments right now are with my jumbo and trying to figure out whether this bag is for me. Okay, so that's my segue. So today is going to be about the Pochette Métis versus the bum bag. And even though some people shy away from talking about this topic, I do like to jump in right away with how much things cost, and that's because I have to consider how much things cost. Yes, I'm considering things in the thousands of dollars. Yes, that is extremely privileged. Yes, I'm very, very lucky, but I'm also not in a category where I can just simply buy things for $1,000 on a whim. So a little bit into how I kind of buy these bags is that from the previous year's income and anything excess saved, I have a projected budget for the next year. So I do not spend money that I don't already have. So it's money that I saved the year before that is already parked and is already banked, and it's already been calculated through discussions with my husband and looking at our needs for the year, our projected needs for the next year, how much we have in savings, and how much of a buffer we decide we want to have in case, something catastrophic happens and neither one of us can work for some reason. What extra things, might come about because of LittleTrip, daycare, childcare, healthcare bills, that kind of stuff. And then just things for the house, are we going to do anything with the house? Are we going to need new appliances? Should we have savings just in case the appliances break? We kind of go through all of that at least a few times a year to make sure we're keeping up with both bills and savings and like cushion. And then on top of that, if there is excess, we talk about trips, we talk about what we want to do with that excess. And that's beyond savings, right? So we already decide what we're going to have for savings and then excess. And I know that this is also like from an extremely privileged place that I have this excess, but there's a percentage of that excess that I park for the next year's purchasing ability. And so I do not go beyond that. So if I spend that, then there's something that, you know, comes in a following season that year that I really, really love and I'm dying to have, I either can't buy it or I have to sell something in order to buy it. Or this is like a very strong, like, this has actually only happened one time where I will kind of borrow from the next year, and that's actually with this bag. So this single flap jumbo I found on Fashion File for, I think it was on that, you know how they discount it by 10, 20, and then 30% depending on how long it's been there. This was discounted to, and then it goes beyond that to like 32%, and it was just shy of $4,000. I think so. I jumped on it because I was like, that's never gonna happen ever again. I'm never gonna see a Chanel classic flap, no matter what condition, for that price in this size. And again, I think the condition is, you know, insane for that money that I spent. I mean, look at these corners, right? They're just ever so slightly smooth. The whole bag only has a single popped stitch right here. Let's see if I can get it in the light. If I open the flap. So it only has a single pop stitch right here in the whole bag, and that's not bad at all. The hardware almost had no scratches, just a little bit of tarnishing, which I was able to clean really, really well. The chain is intact. Like, literally, it's just the shape of the bag. It's just worn, right? Because, you know, it's old, and whoever had this bag before used it a lot. So it has the crease from opening the flap over and over again. The pocket's not even that stretched out. I mean, this person took care of this bag. I think they probably stuffed it and they stored it well. And I didn't think that one was more of an opportunity of, I knew I wanted a single flap and I knew the prices were just going to keep skyrocketing. And this was an opportunity where if I didn't purchase it at the time, I would just end up spending like thousands of dollars more in the future for literally the same bag. And so after many discussions with Dad Trip, I decided to purchase this, and I've never regretted it since. It did shrink again the budget for this, not this year, but this following year. So 2023 will have a smaller purchasing power than this year because I've had to borrow from next year. But again, do not regret it. And I'll update you next year if I regret that choice. But so price is very important to me because I have a very limited closed budget. And so let's just jump right in. So the bum bag, currently you cannot buy. So you have to get it pre-loved. And the Pochette Métis you can buy. And with all of Louis Vuitton's price increases, they have now also generously allowed an abundance of canvas pieces to be available. So at the time of filming, this was at Descartes, and the Pochette Métis now retails for $2,570. Now, when I purchased this in 2016, I had to be on a wait list. I did get off the wait list very, very quickly, even though I was quoted many, many, many months, because the way that my store kind of does is they don't hold the bag. So even if you're a VIC, they won't hold the bag. And so they kind of go down the list and they call you. And if you don't pick up the phone, then they move on to the next person. So they don't give you, I mean, if you respond to your CA when they say the bag has arrived and you tell them I'm going to come by the end of the day or tomorrow morning, yes, your CA will hold the bag in that situation. But if you don't respond, they will move on. So the lady told me some crazy story where there were 7 people ahead of me in the line and none of them answered the call that day. And I did. So I went to go pick up my bag, and that's how I got this guy. So there's no longer waiting lists, even though this bag is super popular. When you're saved up enough, you can probably find it in the store or at least buy it online. This one you can't find. This specific coloring, so the LOL the League of Legends collaboration bum bag. This one, the last I checked, was on that 24S website, the LVMH website, and that's because they have kind of like an overstock of the situation of this collection. I believe it probably didn't sell very well because it's kind of niche, you know. It's kind of got a very specific look to it. This isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea, but again, I'm not a huge fan of just the monogram, and so that's the main reason I didn't pull the trigger on the bum bag for so long, even though I looked at it over and over again. I should have bought the World Tour bum bag is what it came down to. And when they announced, kind of, or not announced, but the rumors were swirling that this was going to be discontinued, I actually did go to buy the World Tour bum bag, but they discontinued the World Tour bum bag a whole month before they discontinued the actual OG bum bag. So, I missed my chance there. So I should have bought the World Tour one because that one had the black leather. And probably when they bring this back, because they will, because they're going to make money on it, they're kind of driving up the supply and demand situation right now, which is reflected on the pre-love price of this guy. But, it's going to probably be the canvas and black leather, just without the stamps. So I don't know if they're going to add any other bells and whistles, but it's probably going to be the World Tour bum bag, so I should have bought it. Yeah. So this one retailing for $2,570. This one you can't buy. But guess what? When I purchased this one was like $1,900 on Fashion File. And then on the LVMH website, it's like $1,700 around there. So I did spend more than I could have if I waited a little bit, but I didn't know that they were going to come out with that website. But this one is right now, so right after I purchased this, it went up to like $2,500, $2,600, $2,700. So even the market for this specific bum bag is being driven up because people want the other bum bag. And oh my gosh, the monogram version, the OG monogram version, is over $4,000 now. So it was averaging in the like low threes when I purchased this, and now it's like solidly in the upper threes, fours. So people definitely still want that bag, and we're talking for not excellent condition. When I bought this was in new condition, excellent condition. It had nothing on it, no scratches, no watermarks, nothing. And now you get a very good with, you know, patina, water spots, tarnished hardware, scratches, you know, stains, dirtiness on the inside lining, and you're paying $4,000 for that, you know. So supply and demand. So this one right now is significantly more expensive than this one, except this version, which you can sometimes find on that LVMH website. So in terms of cost, this one is much more cost savings. I don't know what this will be when it comes out later, if it ever does. Probably be more than the Pochette Métis, just because they will have driven up the frenzy for it by then. Durability and ease of carry. So they're a little bit similar in that, where they have the vachetta. So as you can see, I did not spray this one when I first purchased it. So it has many a water spot. Now it does look overall better than it did when I first got these water spots, because the darkening of the leather is kind of hiding it a little bit, but it's also, you know, kind of gets dirty where the strap is, and it has, you know, this one now has a little bit of water spots because I get caught in the rain once. And I will eventually get up the courage to spray this guy, because I'd like to be able to carry it with a little bit more ease than I did initially with the Pochette Métis. So in the beginning, I did limit how much I used this because I was afraid of, you know, damaging this bag that I didn't have to work super hard to get, but many other people did. And I didn't mean that to sound like flip. I meant like I knew that it was going to be impossible or very difficult for me to get another one, so I wanted to be very careful with it. And this one I'd like to just enjoy more, so maybe that's why I'm having a little bit of crisis of faith with this bag, because I'm not feeling so free to enjoy it because of the vachetta leather. But this one, I mean, you have to carry it with its strap. I mean, you don't have to carry it with the strap. You can carry it as a satchel bag, top handle bag. You can't necessarily carry this one as a top handle bag because you can't detach the strap. So if you carry it around, it will have the strap kind of following it. But I like to use this strap that I purchased. It has 3 settings. It has the leather black leather backing, and I use this for my Pochette Métis because it's just thicker, more comfortable. And again, it has very easy 3 settings, so you can go with the shortest one, which will kind of make it a little cute little shoulder bag, or a longer one, which makes it a longer shoulder bag, or crossbody. So those are kind of the 4 ways to carry, just top handle or the 3 lengths of the strap. This one you can carry as a shoulder bag, right? So you can carry it on your shoulder. You can carry it on your back as kind of a more like kind of single strap backpack, like a sling pack situation. You can use it as a bum bag if you want to, like an actual fanny pack. And I think that the way that most people use it is as a chest pack, so across the chest, either tight across the chest up by, you know, the breasts, or down lower, so kind of under by the waist. So some kind of in the front, not in the front, but more of like it'll look like this on your chest. And so that's how I think most people carry this. In terms of kind of versatility with that, I do think that when I'm chasing LittleTrip around, this one is much easier to carry because this one will kind of swing or move or kind of get in the way, and I'll have to kind of keep adjusting it. This one I can keep tight across my chest or on my back if I need to carry her, and it does not get in the way at all. So I do really enjoy the versatility of this bag. The reason I have this second strap is because the original Pochette Métis strap, and now keep in mind that this thing is 6 years old, it is so stiff. I don't know if anyone else's straps are this stiff, but like, I mean, it is so, it's like jerky. It has not softened over time, and I just got this year, so it's not like I wasn't using this strap, you know, regularly. So I mean, it's not pliable at all, and so if it gets heavier or something and it's thinner, it can actually be a little bit uncomfortable, this strap. So when I had the chance to replace it, I did replace it with this much softer, wider, more comfortable strap, and this is still available to purchase. And so I think they're both fairly versatile, but they're just for different situations. So if you're running after a toddler, I think this one is a much easier bag to carry. If you are doing things where you have to, like, I think just general, like if I'm going grocery shopping or something, I think this is easier to carry because I'm holding other things, and this is an easier bag to get in and out of with a single hand. So that's another thing. This one would be hard if I wasn't able to hold it on one end to open, or I wasn't able to flip this up to open, right? So this one, you know, I just one hand flip open, or the back pocket, you know, I keep open and open. This one, I can't really keep this zipper open because the contents will fall out, because once this is full, it kind of pushes against this pocket because they share this wall, and so it can sometimes push out my contents. So one-handed, this bag is hard to use. One-handed, this bag is easy to use. So there's pros and cons to both ones, but they're both fairly versatile, and they're both fairly stylish. This one I think you can use in a little bit more formal settings and can go with maybe a few more outfits. This is very sporty. This is very casual looking. I mean, again, you know, these bags cost thousands of dollars. Rock it any way you want to, right? I can, you know, if like a celebrity, like if J-Lo showed up in a ball gown at the Oscars with this strapped to her chest, everyone would be like, oh my God, that's amazing, right? But, you know, if, you know, I showed up doing that, people would be like, did you not have another bag? So, you know, to each their own. But I think that in terms of style, look, and feel, I think that whatever your wardrobe is going for, I think that they can, you know, do fairly similar things, but I do think that this one's just a little bit more sporty, and this one can be a little bit more brunchy because you can wear it without the strap, or you can wear it as a cute little shoulder bag. Longevity, they're both canvas. They both have a fair amount of hardware. They both have vachetta leather. they say that, you know, this one you have to be careful because you could scratch it with the zipper. This one will start to warp because of how the S lock is, the trunk lock is kind of tight right there, and then if you fill it, it pushes out the sides, and then eventually the canvas will start to warp. I mean, I've not had glazing issues with this one, but they're kind of going to have the same issues over time, I think, because they're both canvas. This one might have more because it has the additional kind of paint on the canvas, so this might crack over time. So longevity, I just think as long as I kind of care for them as best I can, they're going to be about equal there. Accessibility, resale, I mean, this one's harder to get. This one is way higher in resale value, and that's only because Louis Vuitton now has this easily accessible. So in terms of if you think something's going to be a better buy, now that's a tougher question because this is so marked up, right? And I think if it does ever come back, it's not going to be as expensive as $4,000. So people are going to be buying new bags at that point for less than what the current used price is. That's just what I think, because Louis Vuitton tends not to price the canvas that high. Even that, you know, the Loop GM, that's been kind of a big fervor on Instagram and YouTube, right? Check out Marquita LV Luxury for that bag. I had zero interest in that bag, but watching her videos makes me want it in that moment just because of her passion and her her excitement for that bag, you know, transfers to you. And then I stop watching the video and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want that bag. But yeah, okay, so that bag is priced at like $2,800, and I mean it's a big canvas bag with lots of styling and bells and whistles to it, and so this one comes out, it's not going to be priced in the $4,000 range. It's just my feeling of LV. So in terms of which is the better actual investment now, I mean, they're kind of even. This one's easy to get, so it's not really an investment because the resale value isn't going to go up unless they discontinue it one day. And then this one is probably a terrible buy right now because if they come out with it again, then the value of that's going to plummet. So you just have to go by which one you actually like, which one you actually love, which one you're gonna use, right? You're gonna buy this bag to use the bag and not because it's an investment or whatever. And then what fits, I've kind of done videos on both of these already of what fits in terms of the differences. So they actually fit fairly same amount. The main difference I found when I was kind of preparing for filming this video is that this has 3 compartments for organization. And so this one, you'll just have to kind of pile things on top of each other. So it might be a little bit harder. If this was full, it'd be harder to kind of find things or organize things in here. You could get a bag organizer for this, but I mean, it just takes up more space is kind of how I feel about that bag organizer for a smaller bag. This one, I find, you know, the compartmentalization is helpful already so that, you know, I can reach into whatever compartment I need and it's not so Tetris-like in there. The other difference is that when you're want to put something in of like a bigger volume, so because of these compartments, this one big space is cut into 3 spaces, so you can't stick like a container in here. Whereas if for some reason you needed like a pot of, I don't know, the closest thing that I have is this Cetaphil bottle, which I just put some rice grains in it, so it became like a makeshift rattle for LittleTrip. But I mean, you could fit that in there if you wanted to, right? Because it's just one big volume of space, whereas this is never going to fit in the Pochette Métis because of the compartments. So if you need to fit something of volume or you have something bigger, then this will fit it and this won't. But in terms of, you know, all the SLGs, the mini pochette, the card holders, the zippy coin purses, even the 3 different sizes of the Pochette Kirigami, the large one won't fit in here, but the large one fits in here just because of the shape. This is not a square shape, so it won't fit in there. But on the flip side, oh, I wonder, I've never seen if this one fits in here. Or maybe I did see this one. So yeah, okay, so this will fit in both of them. And then this is the cosmetic pouch in the small size, the PN size. When I put it in here, so I have carried this before like this, I do put it so that there's this point down here on the bum bag. I do put it in so that it matches the point. But yeah, in terms of what they carry, the only difference is the compartmentalization of this one. And then if you have a larger volume thing, it will only fit in the bum bag. Okay, so that did help talking through. It made me think about the different ways that I've used this bag that I can't really use this bag for, and how this does fill kind of like a hole there. The next one that I plan to do is this one versus my Palm Springs Mini, because I think that might be a more similar match in terms of how I use it, although Palm Springs Mini is smaller in size, so it does fit quite a bit less. But yeah, that's what I hope to do next. As everyone kind of recovers and they get more time, we'll just keep filming videos and just keep putting it out there for you guys. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Do all those YouTube things. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave comments down below. Do you have either one of these bags? Do you have both of these bags? Do you feel like you enjoy having both of them? If you only have one, would you purchase the other one? You know, help me out. Leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next one.